Hello everybody, my name is Session, and welcome to the final part of my weapon combinations series, where I take all of the weapons in a certain slot and combine them into one very special weapon. Today, we will be going over the final 4 melee weapons. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you do enjoy the video, and I do have a Discord server, so please join that. Starting off, we have the heavy weapons guy, and his fists do not disagree with his job title. He has some very heavy-hitting weapons, and by combining all those stats together, we get the killing gloves of urgently boxing the steel eviction, or the KGUBSE. Whenever you kill somebody, you gain 5 seconds of guaranteed crits for both your melee and your primary. Sadly, I did not include the shotguns with this because there's only like 3 for heavy, so critical sandwiches, anybody? But 5 seconds of guaranteed crits on a kill is nothing to scoff at, and this certainly isn't hindered by the next stat of a 20% faster firing speed. Instead of swinging every 0.8 seconds, it actually swings every 0.5 seconds, which is very effective. Every time you tag an enemy with it, you gain a 3-second speed boost. Heavy's melee is going to be a bit of a speed. I'm not even going to finish that sentence. I don't even know where I was going with that. As you may know, the Fists of Steel, as well as the Gloves of Running Urgently, have a holster speed penalty. So the time between having your weapon out and being able to fire it is reduced very much, because it is 150% slower. So it doesn't take 0.5 seconds to holster, it takes 1.25 seconds. Unlike most of the other melee weapons, it doesn't have a really terrible damage penalty. The only thing with the damage penalty is the Eviction Notice, which has a 60% damage penalty. But luckily for heavy, the Warrior Spirit increases that by 30%. So he only has a 30% damage penalty. That means instead of doing 65 damage, he only does 46, which is a bit inconvenient. Now that's just the weapon stats. Let's see what it does for heavy when you're holding it. All right, heavy's melees tend to make him faster, such as the Gloves of Running Urgently, which bring him up 30% faster, and the Eviction Notice, which is half as good, making him 15% faster. Together, when heavy's holding this melee, he is 45% faster, bringing him up from his speed of 230 up to 334 hammer units per second. By the way, that's faster than a medic. What happened to my fists? And every time you punch someone, you also get a speed boost, so that can stack together to get you some really fast. What am I saying? That will get you some really fast. Jeez. The Warrior Spirit also gives you a 30% damage vulnerability, but luckily, the Fists of Steel grants you a 40% damage resistance, but only from non-melee sources. And unluckily, it also gives you a 100% vulnerability, meaning you take 100% more damage from all melee attacks. This stacks with the Warrior Spirit downside of 30 for making you take 130% more damage from other melee attacks while you're holding your melee. One random crit and you're gone. Now, as you probably know, the Eviction Notice and the Gloves of Running Urgently drain your health. The Gloves of Running Urgently at a rate of 10 health per second, and the Eviction Notice at a rate of 5 per second, which is fitting because it makes you half as fast. That adds up to a 15 per second health drain, which can be helped a little bit with the Dalikos bar, but heavy secondary forces him to use his melee for 43 seconds, if my memory serves me correctly. While you're not holding it, your health does recover at the same rate. And also, thanks to the Fists of Steel, you get 40% less max overheal. So instead of your overheal going up to 375, it only goes up to 345. And you get healed 40% slower from healers. So instead of getting healed 34 per second, you only get healed 20 per second, which actually kind of perfectly offsets the upside of the quick fix. If your medic has the healing Uber selected, that increases their healing rate up to 45 HP per second, meaning instead of going down to 20 HP per second while healing heavy, holding their melee, it only goes down to 27 HP per second. And yes, I did not include the Holiday Punch. That's because I'm not really including joke weapons. Now, I know some of you might consider the Eviction Notice a joke. Trust me, I do too. But it's not making you do 0 damage on a crit, and also making you crit after every kill. I doubt I'll be making anyone angry by not including it. Now, finally, my boy, the Medic. Say hello to the Amput Amput-Ubersaw-lemn Vow-ta saw. I love it and I hate it at the same time. Every time you hit someone, you regain 25% Uber. A little bit unnecessary. It's still nice, but you do have a 100% faster Uber charge build rate, so it's half as useful. And also my favorite medic melee, it's not my favorite, I hate it. The Vow-ta. It looks really cool. Not only when you hit people do you gain 25 Uber, you also retain 15% of your Uber every time you hit someone. Oh man, I'm dead. I actually retained 60% of my Uber. Medic does have natural regeneration, which will max out at 4 because I do have the Loot Saga equipped. But when you're holding your melee, that actually goes up by 3. So you get up to 7 health regenerated per second when you're holding your melee, which is really cool. You'll love to see it. You get the Amputator Taunt, which heals people for 20 health per second. It allows you to see enemy health. 0! Yes! Who needs to see enemy health when it's at 0? Alright, now we get to the the downsides. This is a very little known fact. The Solemn Vow actually has a downside. It only has a 10% slower firing speed. Imperceptible. If you guys are wondering, it's approximately this fast. And it does 20% less damage, so that means it's 156 on a crit. Similar to the Scout, Medic now permanently only has 140 health. Medic's survivability dropped significantly. Well, it sucks that Medic now only has 140 health. I think the melees do go together a lot better than Medic's primaries. It's good. It's a good weapon, definitely. If it existed, it would probably be like, I want to say A, maybe S tier, if you've been enjoying my weapon combo series as much as I have been. I'm not going to stop talking about it. I might do like a tier list. I'm definitely going to do a class analysis of the ramifications, not just the weapons, and any little updates I might have made to them. And maybe in the future, I'll even be able to have a server with these custom weapons as soon as I find someone who can do that, because I cannot. So if you or anyone you know can make TF2 custom weapons, join the Discord server, link in the description, and become a channel member too while you're at it. Why not? Next up, we have the Bushman's Shahanshiv. Alright, Sniper has 4 melee weapons, and one of them is stock. Jarate. Bleed on hit for 6 seconds. But wait, there's more. It always crits instead of mini crit. If your health is below 50%, you're doing 81 damage with a hit and 244 damage to crit. But this is a double-edged sword. Well, actually, it's a one-edged sword. But when your health is above 50%, you actually do 25% less than stock, which is 49, apparently. On top of that, it does 50% less damage. That means if your health is below 50%, instead of doing 33, it does 41. And instead of doing 33 when your health is above 50%, it only does 25. You can kill light classes in 5 hits. Some pathetic damage. And also, when you're holding your melee, you take 20% more damage. So Hurt Me 100 does 120 damage. And no random crits. Just in case you needed proof of that. And that's it. Sniper's melee is, you know, it's Sniper's melee. Sniper was never meant to be a melee class. Mini-crit's critting instead. And mini-crit bleed damage seems like a really sweet deal. And if you're below half health, your crits are going to be doing 123 damage. And now we get to, quote-unquote, the best melee class in the game. Oh, Baguette twirls mustache in La French. Spy, Mr. Spy, your melee sucks. Spy's gotten really rough go with my combo weapons. With his primary getting like a 50% damage penalty, firing half as quickly, doing crits in a lot of different ways, but also having crit damage fall off, his watch is kind of his only saving grace, and it's not great. But I digress. Spy's melee. It's so interesting. It's not bad, it's interesting. On a successful backstab, you immediately disguise as the person you stabbed. Very nice. Also, their death will not be shown in the kill feed for other enemies. You grab the health of your victim, up to 3 times your max health, and this all happens simultaneously whilst your target turns into a statue to commemorate your stabbings. Now that's just on a backstab, but let's say you're not the best backstabber and you just get a face stab. Well, you still get a couple rewards from that. Your victims do not scream when they die, and their corpses disappear. This also happens on a backstab, but you can get a face stab and that will still happen. you get a speed boost and you regain some of your cloak meter. And obviously this also happens on a backstab, but like I said, doesn't need to be a backstab. When you are hit by fire, it triggers your Spicicle thing where you are immune to all fire damage for 1 second, and you have afterburn immunity for 10 seconds. Very convenient. You will lose your melee, which will regenerate over 15 seconds, or by picking up ammo. Now, there's a few other downsides I must mention. Your cloak drains 33% faster, and disguising will consume your entire cloak meter. And I do have the L'Étranger equipped right now, so that's why it's not too bad. Oh, and you have 45 maximum health.